Chapter 8. Mitch. Bailey stood in the doorway, splattered with raindrops. A look of disgust crossed his face. He held an unopened case of beer, which he slammed on the counter hard enough to rattle the glasses above. Then, for good measure, he took a violent in-breath and slammed the door. He didn't speak, but growled, "You have some nerve coming back here." I knew I was in trouble. "Bailey, you're home?" Bailey looked at the garbage bags containing my clothes and possessions. Then he sneered when he saw the G-Skyer telescope. Bailey kicked it. The fragile thing flew across the kitchen and hit one of the stainless steel cupboards. The glass lenses and mirrors inside clinked and shattered. "Knock it off, Bailey." I tried to stand, but the gi bottoms had fallen to my calves, and the table kept me from rising much. "I hope you're fucking proud of yourself," Bailey screamed. "What?" I said. Bailey spat. "You've destroyed us." "I'm not destroying anything." Bailey slapped the counter, sneering. "Your mother, sorry, we don't rate your fucking respect, Donna, left me because of you. The police have labeled me, as a wife beater, and you keep calling them. You've destroyed this family." The only sound was the rain falling outside. "I've never told anyone that you hit me, but I wish I had." I stood. "You destroyed this family. You didn't need my help. You did it all by yourself." Bailey lunged forward and backhanded me with every ounce of strength he possessed. His gaudy class ring sliced deeply into my cheek. I spun sideways, gi bottoms dropping to my ankles, and I crashed into the glass table. The table toppled into the wall, shattering. The backpack, the pen, the journal flew in random directions. The glucose meter flew, hitting the window, and cracked both it and the glass. The journal flew into the kitchen. I put out my hands to catch myself as I fell, but I landed in the glass. Shards of glass stuck into my hands, cut my face. I tried to kneel, but the sharp points dug into my knees. I rolled, feeling them slice my arm. "What was that?" a neighbor yelled. "You are a monster," Bailey screamed at me. "A homewrecker, a homosexual, and I never want to see you in this house again." I crawled to a kneeling position, dazed, uncertain. My palms bled from where I had caught myself on the glassy floor. My bare feet and exposed knees stung too. Something warm and sticky bled down my cheek. "You get out," Bailey screamed. He brought his foot back and kicked my side. I went over into the glass I had escaped. Bailey gave me a moment to lean on the wall and let me climb to my feet before he pushed me, hard. I fell back onto what was left of the table and into the glass. I had to get out of here, but my legs wouldn't move. The karate bottoms had tangled around my ankles. I kicked them off and crawled to the door. Somehow, I made it back to my feet, but I left bloody footprints behind me. I gripped the door frame, leaving a bloody handprint. I limped to the mudroom, past the fallen telescope, fumbled with the doorknob, staggered into the cold. Something that felt like sharp pebbles was stuck to the bottoms of my feet. I scraped my feet on the mat. Little bits of glass and blood left long smears. I hobbled into the rain as best I could, ignoring the pain. Bailey went into the hall closet, the closet where he kept his sports equipment, slammed it open, and grabbed something as I fled. Bailey banged on the walls. "You've destroyed this family. You've ruined me. You and everything you own are out of here." The G-Skyer came flying out the door. The rest of its delicate mirrors and lenses shattered as it hit concrete. I couldn't move. "Do something," I screamed in my head. Bailey flung my backpack, spilling my emergency clothes and protein bars and phone and wallet and keys. Everything landed in scattered puddles. Lightning ripped through the sky. "You are no son of mine," Bailey yelled. "Get out before I bash your filthy brains in." No, 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 this can't be happening. Bailey came out the door, banging a baseball bat on the wall. "What the fuck are you still doing here, cock-sucking freak? Everybody hates your kind. I hate your kind. I want you out of here. You are no longer welcome in my house. And if you ever come back..." He swung the baseball bat and hit my phone, smashing it. "I'll kill you." Why can't I move? Do something. I've trained for this. I lunged for my keys, but Bailey met my eye with his fist, and I fell. "Get out. You have 1 minute." Bailey ran inside, threw my glucose meter out the door, and smashed the insulin pen on the ground so hard it bounced. He went back inside, and a light came on in my room. I couldn't think. My hands hurt. My feet stung. My ribs ached. Rain mixed with the blood dripping from my cheek. What do I do? Small cuts on my hands trickled more blood. I grabbed the keys and my glucose meter. A minute later, the little dragon chess set flew out the door like a frisbee and smacked the pavement hard enough to crack the board in half. The little chess pieces scrambled. One bounced towards me, and I bent over and grabbed it with my left hand. "You are never allowed on my property. Get out." Bailey tossed the little third-place trophy and hit it as if he were hitting a fly ball. The trophy had been safe in my truck. Bailey had been in my truck. The pieces of the trophy flew and hit the garage door. The little karate guy bounced into the darkness. "I'm not waiting a minute. Your time's up, and you are not running," Bailey screamed. "I'm going to kill you." I staggered in the direction of my truck. A crowd of neighbors clustered in the road, phones out, taking pictures and videos. Sirens sounded in the distance. Then the night that couldn't get any worse just got worse. I recognized one person in the crowd. Oh shit. At the back of the crowd stood Jared, trying to push his way through. He must have heard everything. Fuck. I couldn't breathe. My eyes met his. Jared's eyes widened. The hat was on my head. Jared saw. Jared heard. Jared knew. The look on his face. Total shock. My neighbors knew. Jared knew. And Bailey screamed as he came out the door. "Now everybody hates you as much as I hate you." A glimpse of motion. The baseball bat came down. I whipped up my left arm to block. The bat hit hard. Sharp pain. The little chess dragon cut into my palm. The baseball bat went flying. "Goddamn son of a bitch," Bailey yelled. "I'll kill you. Get out. I won't have no fucking queer living in my house." I ran for the truck and somehow inserted the key. Bailey grabbed the bat, ran after me, and hit the front of my truck, smashing one of the headlights. I turned the key, but the truck didn't start. Bailey swung again, hitting the driver's side door, right on my Suicide Queen stickers. I turned the key again. God, get me out of here. The engine turned over. I shifted into gear and sped off, but Bailey swung again, hitting my truck above the rear wheel. I held my left arm right tight to my side. God, Jared had heard everything. Everybody had heard everything. Bailey was right. Everybody would hate me. I had to get out of here. I turned onto the main road, but I didn't know where to go. No insulin, no pen, no journal. The headache that couldn't get any worse just got worse. I couldn't go back to the Parkers. I couldn't go back to the high school, and I couldn't go back to the dojo. I couldn't go anywhere. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. My cheek wouldn't stop bleeding. Blood streamed from the little cuts in my hands. Something still stabbed in my foot. No phone. There was no one I could call anyway. Bailey was right. Everybody hated me. Jared hated me. I heard sirens. Bailey must have called the police. I had only wanted to get my hat. Now the cops are after me. At least I could do one thing. I could apologize to Jared for lying all these years. It would be the last time I talked to him, if he even listened to me. I had some change I kept in the truck. The Quickie Mart had a payphone I could use. I pulled in, wiping the blood off my cheek, ran to the phone, and dialed his number. It rang twice before Jared's voice screamed, "Mitch?" I stared at the sky, letting the rain wash the blood off me. I tried to control my voice, and failed. I'm sorry. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Talk to me, Mitch. Stop crying and tell me where you are. I breathed in and closed my eyes. Mitch, just talk. I shook my head and leaned on the payphone. What had happened? Where had it gone wrong? The look on Jared's face. The looks on everybody's faces. Bailey was right. Mitch, just talk, please. I couldn't get the fucking words out. I heard sirens through the phone and Bailey shouting in the background. He would twist everything until it was all my fault. Everybody would believe him. After all, they always did. I didn't have anyone I could turn to. Everything on me hurt, or stung, or ached, especially my arm. I pulled myself together as my head seemed to explode. I'm sorry, I whispered. Goodbye. I hung the phone up and it rang the second I let go. I fled to my truck and sped off.